send this email saying, "Hello, Chris. It's been such a long time and you are such an idiot. Ha ha ha." No, don't send things like that because people don't know exactly how you feel when they're reading a written piece. So what you need to do is make sure, not just with emailing, but texting and being in front of people on the phone and so on, you're avoiding being a fool in communication. Like I know myself, I've communicated badly in the past on, say, YouTube. You can see all the crazy videos, bad sound, bad vision, bad everything. Now, prominent research has shown that foolishness can be compared to low levels of wisdom. Shock horror. That means we should listen to our elders and keep in mind what they say. So if I'm not being mannerly, well, then I should get scolded by the elders. In fact, only yesterday I had a conversation with a pure stranger, 20 years older than me, and told me they had children my age, and this was what was going on in their lives. It was quite interesting. We were talking about it, but more intimate things than usual, but it was lovely and trusting and open. And they said, "You are a nice person." And I thought, wow, that is a compliment coming from a stranger. This is what is going to help us in communication because it verifies our communication in the first place. Now, avoiding coming across as a fool is communication. Within communication involves a combination of self-awareness, of active listening, of effective expression, of overall empathy. You need to think before you speak and you think before you communicate. Taking a moment to gather your thoughts about responding or not being emotional and reacting. Consider the context and the potential implication of your words. The thing about words are they come out very quickly, but we can often not attach the words to what we're thinking longer term. Because if we have a better holistic vision about not only me and the implications for me, but the implications for others around me and for society at large, well, then we can get really much in trouble with our thumb, and what's said cannot be unsaid. Then, of course, we have all the recording material out there in the moment. Like theoretically, this is a scary thought. You can go into a crowded room and you can be listened to and recorded by everybody with recording devices. And of course, if you're one of note and you have to speak in some way, the reality is you probably are being recorded by everybody. So you have to mind your words. We are delayed if we're texting and typing, so therefore we can process things and think about them. But if we are doing, say, a romantic thing and we're trying to communicate over and back to kind of make it flirtatious, that can be a mess. Because if we're trying to just do things on pace and speed, like as if we would to react to a person in person, it's not the same thing. That's why the beauty of being in front of somebody and pulling back and just listening to them actively by paying close attention to what others are saying. This not only shows respect, but it also helps you understand the perspective before responding, and it gives you time to think, to actually construct in your mind's eye a sentence of reaction, a question, a utterance. I see. That's a pretty simple one, and it delays for another 5-10 seconds. Then you can get the gist of the conversation and you can kind of make that sentence going, and it hurts you how, really? And that's a probing question, it's an open question, and you're acknowledging the hurt and you're being respectful. So it gives you time to respond and to open out, and it's empathetic because you're being in the presence, you're giving a person your time. The longer time you give to a conversation, it's actually better. If they say, "Oh, I couldn't get away from them," that's actually a compliment. You couldn't get away from you because that person gave of their time. What more do we have in this world, if you think about it, that's worth chasing than time? Because we're born and we don't know when we are going to end. So yeah, we think we'll go to a certain age, but not everybody gets given an old age. So giving of your time is a beautiful thing. It is pure empathy. Now, empathy, or being empathetic in other ways, is like trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes and truly being authentic in understanding their emotions, their concerns, and their viewpoints. Now, in this conversation, not wanting to be a fool, if you're unsure about something, don't hesitate to ask. Trying to clarify with questions. It's better to seek understanding, and there's no such thing as a stupid question. Because at the end of it all, you're giving this person attention by being there, and by doing that, this is gold, and they're going to feel great. They're getting the words out, they're expressing themselves, and just by being there and keeping stum, 2 ears being open, they don't know what you're thinking, so you cannot appear foolish. Now, the thing about it is, when we are communicating, texting or emailing or in person or whatever, we have to avoid overconfidence, because if we think about it, we can't be fully confident on everything. Yeah, sure, I might be an expert in something, but even that can change. Even as you record a video, things can change online and the video is no longer being accepted or even timely. So if you avoid having overconfidence and accepting that confidence is good, the overconfidence can lead, unfortunately, to ignorance. So we need to be open to the possibility that you might not have all the answers. I certainly don't. In conversation, it's true we like little bits of phrases and jokes, but avoiding jargon, because using complex terminology in the real world does not work. We need to put it into real language. So we need to make sure that you seem like you're trying in a good way, in a fair way, but you're not trying too hard. So be clear and concise with your language and know that your audience understands it. There's nothing worse than if you say speaking and you come out with all this technical language and there's only a portion of an audience that actually get it. You get like a bit of a laugh from 3 or 4 and there's like 300, they're like scratching their heads going, what am I doing here? So we need to also stay informed, because staying up to date on current events, trends and relevant topics is really important. At the end of the day, people are looking at their phones now and they're being motivated and they're listening to things and even inspired and put off and fearful of things that are forefront to their minds, which is today what happens in an hour's time. So if you can tap into that in conversation, you're going to make sure that people will respect and listen, because you might have the more up-to-date live version, and right before your conversation you may have tapped into that on the news, so they will listen to you. This helps you contribute to conversations with relevant information. If you are relaxed, if you are truthful, if you are authentic, if you are giving of your time, mostly things will go down very well. And I hope that this video has gone down very well for you. I'm thankful that you've watched it. Please do watch more.